Howdy folks, steak au poivre on the menu tonight. This is a French style of preparing a steak. It's traditionally always done with a New York strip, but you can use ribeye, filet mignon. Those cuts work real good. Au poivre simply means in pepper. So you can au poivre anything, chicken, even prime rib can be rolled up in a cracked black pepper, and that's au poivre. So I've got some black peppercorns here, and I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons in this little Ziploc bag here. That's probably a little too much. We're going to crack these up. Now, you know, if you've got a pepper grinder that'll bust these maybe into thirds or halves, that'll be fine too, but mine won't do that, so I'm going to crack them myself here with a meat mallet. And you just want to beat the hell out of them, basically. Get them busted in half. And what you don't want is any whole peppercorns. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to cut the corner off this and get it in a little bowl here. That's why I like the Ziploc bag. Makes this a little easier to deal with. And probably not going to use all that, but I can put it in the pepper grinder and get some use out of it. So that's what we're going to coat this steak in, and I'm going to saute it, and then there's a pan sauce that makes this particularly great. And there's some brandy involved and some fire and explosion, so it's pretty interesting and it is delicious. We'll get cooking here in just a few minutes. I got the steak out, and it's been wrapped in the paper towel. Pull all the moisture out of it. And I'm going to actually let this come up to room temperature. This is easier to do if you're using a room temp steak, because you run the risk of burning your peppercorns before the steak is cooked. And I'm going to do this to a medium rare, maybe a medium. We'll be back shortly. Alright folks, let's get this strip steak here prepped up. I've got some vegetable oil. I'm going to coat it. Get a good coat on there. And I'm going to go ahead and start sprinkling this pepper on here. I see I got a couple in here that's whole peppercorns. I'm going to go and get them out. They don't cook very well. We just want to sprinkle this cracked pepper on here pretty heavy. I did use all of the cracked pepper. Just enough. Alright. We gotta get some salt on it. Get it salted up. You can use kosher salt. I just think the fine salt works better for this particular cook. Real nice coating of salt. Peppered up real nice. Get that skillet up to temp. Get to cooking. Be back in a minute. Alright, let's get a steak going here. I'm going to put some olive oil in. And half butter. Lay a steak in here. And we want to cook this on about a medium heat. You got to be careful. You don't want to burn the peppercorns up. So we're going to do medium heat, a couple of minutes, and I'm going to flip it several times. Traditionally, you don't flip a steak too often, but with this, I'm going to flip it several times to make sure that the peppercorn don't get burned up. Be back in a minute. It's been going there about a minute. Go ahead and turn it. And I've got some thyme I'm going to put in here as well. I think it needs a little bit more butter. I'll let that go for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and flip it again. Let that go a minute. Alright, I'll go ahead and flip it again. Get the thyme out of the way. It's getting there. There's another minute. Alright. Get on here. Feels about right to me. Let's look at it. Time to pull. Set that over to the side. Put a little aluminum foil on it. Let it rest. In the meantime, we're going to start making this sauce. I'm going to get that thyme out of there and a lot of that oil. And whatever loose pepper we got, what's stuck on the bottom is what we're going to use for the sauce. Let me tint this steak. Be back in a minute. Alright, I poured the brown butter and the thyme out of there. Make sure I get these stems out. I'm going to go in with a pat of butter and just a little bit diced onion. About a teaspoon. Gotta work that fond up there a little bit. Let those onions caramelize and get a little sweet. And we're gonna go in with some brandy. I'm gonna do about a third a cup. First, I'm gonna cut the fire off so it don't blow up in my face, which it'll probably ignite anyway, but we'll see. So we got a third cup of brandy. Go ahead and ignite it. We're going to let that burn off. And it won't take very long to talk. And that's really going to loosen that fond up on the bottom. And the only thing you're left with is the caramel taste of the brandy, which is absolutely delicious in this sauce. And then I'm going to go in with about a third cup of concentrated beef stock. And that's homemade stock. You can use store-bought stock. Just boil it down and concentrate it. You want it pretty strong. I'm going to put some salt in here. And then add some cream. Do about a fourth of a cup of cream. Now we got that cream in there. And I'm going to let this thicken up. And that's going to be our sauce for the steak. peppery brandy sauce. And we're going to finish it with a little bit of butter. Now what I am going to do, traditionally don't do with this dish, is I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder to mine. About a quarter or half of a teaspoon. And I'm just going to let that simmer till it gets to the consistency that I'm looking for. And as far as the amount of cream, you just have to watch it. You want it to be kind of a caramel color, but it's going to change color as it thickens. So add a little and then just adjust as you go. Be back here shortly. That's been simmering a few minutes, and you can see how it's thickened and it's turned into a caramel color. And that's what you're looking for right there. If it's too dark, add some more cream. But the ratios that I gave you there, pretty much always you end up with sauce like that. I'm going to go ahead and cut the fire off, get the camera moved, and we'll plate this up. Be back in a minute. Got some cheesy mashed potatoes back there. Set the steak on the plate here. Take a look at it and see what it's looking like on the inside. Yeah, that's a little over medium. Ain't too bad though. A little more than I want it, but do the best you can. That's all you can do. Let's get this sauce on here. It's that right there is what makes this steak over the top delicious. That's it. That's a French style of steak, and it is delicious. Till next time, peace.